Hey folks, it's me again. It's been a while, but it's time to break out another Knives Fast review. Here we go. It's one of my favorites. I got it about 2 months ago and I've been EDC carrying it every day since then. Here it is, the Spyderco Manix 2. I was very skeptical of this knife for a long time, broke down and bought it, and I don't see anything knocking it off for a long time as my favorite EDC knife. Why? We'll talk about that in a minute. Another Knives Fast review, Spyderco Manix 2. Alright, so it's been a long time since we've done a knife review, so it's time to roll right back into it. So as you can see, we have the knife we're going to review today right here, the Spyderco Manix 2, and this is the one we're going to review. But you see another Spyderco on the table here today. This was my first introduction to Spyderco, and it may have been unfair for me to base it on this because this is the Ambitious, and if you know anything about the Ambitious, it's a very small knife, and it's made in China. So again, it was my first kind of foray into the Spyderco field. It's a good knife, good sharp blade. It is HCR 13 MOV, so the steel is not that great, and it's a liner lock, which is not really my favorite style. So it was a good first foray. It's a little stiff, it's a little tight, but again, this one's made in China, so I wasn't going to base everything I knew about Spyderco on that. So here we go. We have the Manix 2. I decided I had some birthday money and it was down between this, and I'll just be honest, and the Benchmade Griptilian. I went back and forth for weeks and weeks, asked a lot of advice from fellow knife owners, and I ended up with this guy right here, the Manix 2. Now, I've handled Benchmade Griptilians before, so I know kind of what I was going to get there. I really didn't know with this one. I don't know any friends that had this one that are local, but I just kind of dove in and decided to get it. Really what sold me was this CPM S30V steel. Again, this blade is 3.375 inches. But again, that S30V steel was what really drew me to this knife. I was very excited to get it because of that one reason, but I will tell you, I was beside myself with the fit and finish of this knife. Blown away would be a mild term. The G10 is just perfect. A lot of guys have said, well, 5 ounces, that's pretty heavy. Yeah, sure, but I carry it in my pocket every day. I never notice that it's heavy. It doesn't bother me. And really, when you come down to it, the difference between 3 ounces and 5 ounces, it's really not that much. So, some of the other knives I looked at were close to 4 ounces. This one's 5. It's not that big of a difference, and I just love it. Like I said, it's the blade is perfectly centered. That's another thing that was very good when I got it out of the box. The blade, upon getting it out of the box, was razor sharp, and I've said that before, but this is by far the sharpest knife I have ever gotten out of a box. And I have quite a few knives. I had a piece of cardboard, not corrugated, just one sheet of cardboard, and I literally just ribbon cut that piece of cardboard as the first thing out of the box, and I was just floored by the sharpness of this blade. Again, you have all the typical. You have the Spydie hole here, which is what I use to open it. Obviously, with the lock here, with the ball bearing lock, you can simply flip it open and flip it closed. You can do whatever you like there, but I choose to use. Whoops! And look at that bad example. I choose to use the Spydie hole and flip it open. It's perfect. Again, this one is a ball bearing lock, which to me is just terrific. As I said, I'm not a big fan of liner lock. I do like a frame lock. I do like a lock back. I'm not a big frame lock fan, although I have a lot of, liner lock, although I do have a lot of liner lock knives. Again, out of the box, just very, very impressed. But I have used this knife, as I said, for the past 2 months, opening boxes. I've made feather sticks. I've loosely cut some sticks with it. I mean, no hard chopping or anything like that. I've been very impressed. And to be honest with you, it's just now, 2 months in, at the point that it could use a touch-up sharpening. You know, there is, will show you this. You probably cannot pick it up on camera, but there is a minor nick on the edge of that blade right about here. And, you know, I was being pretty rough opening some boxes, and one of them had staples. I'm not too worried about it. Again, it'll come right out. I plan to sharpen it in the next week or so and make that good as new. So, again, just a very impressive knife. All the way open, all the way closed, this knife is 4.6 inches. With the blade, again, is 3.375. It is the S30V steel. I have heard so much. I do not own another knife with this steel. I am utterly impressed. I've used this thing every day for the last a little over 2 months. And I'm just blown away by how well it has held its edge. It does have options for the pocket clip, but again, it's only tip up. It's tip up left or right, and I've just left it just how it came out of the box because that's been perfect for me. So I guess the best way to say this is that my first foray into the Spyderco family will not be my last. You know, I'm one of these guys that doesn't go with a lot of trends and people saying how great stuff is. It takes me experiencing it. So now that I have one, I have to have more, just like I have been with my Essie knives. So again, a very good knife, very sharp knife. It is expensive. It is not a cheap knife. I bought it for about $83, I believe, on Amazon, which, you know, isn't horrible, but it's also not a cheap knife. You know, we do a lot of cost-conscious knives on this channel. This is not one of them. But if you want a knife that is this tight, the lockup is solid. It may as well be a fixed blade. I have said that to many, many people, that I am floored by how tight it is, and this piece along the back here ensures that. The lock ensures that, and just the overall quality of the way it was built. Again, just very impressed, and for $80, I will take this thing. It is, I would call it the best folder I own at this point, but it won't be forever. Again, nice, fast, little longer review than usual because I'm just really impressed with this particular knife. But again, thanks for joining us. Please like, comment, and share, and there will be more to come because I got some more knives rolling in. Thanks.